guys, welcome to my channel and today's video. Today I am talking about the new curriculum that Guest Hollow had just released. They released it at this point probably a month ago. I was literally in an airport on a work trip and I kind of saw something, but I wasn't super paying attention. I think I was just scrolling on Facebook or Instagram. And I was like, no, I must be confused. And then I really saw something and I was like, oh my gosh, they are making a American history curriculum for elementary, middle school. So as soon as I got back in town, I was like, I would love to take a look at it. So I asked the owners of Guest Hollow, I would love to review it. I would love to talk about it and share it on my channel. And they were like, yes, please. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys. So if you've never heard of Guest Hollow, they offer a ton of different curriculum options for all different subjects, and their curriculum is all digital. And they tend to give you tons and tons and tons of resources. It's basically homeschool parents. I mean, no, it's not basically, it is homeschool parents who found the best resources, bundle it all together and make a really cool curriculum. So I have an entire Guest Hollow playlist of all the curriculum I've used from them or reviewed, and I will link that down below. We love Beowulf grammar, and so when I saw Beowulf making another appearance in history, I got really excited because I don't like history. Well, no, that's absolutely not true. I love, as an adult, I watch history documentaries all the time. On Friday nights, there's this show called I don't know, Mystery Histories or the Unknown stuff. I'm all about that. But teaching history and American history, just not my thing. And if you've been around, you know that I have struggled greatly with teaching this subject. So of course, when I saw this, I was like, well, I'm really excited. So let's talk about it because it is set up different than their other curriculums. It's set up different than Beowulf grammar. So I'm going to kind of walk you through how it's set up, what you would need, what you get if you purchase it. Now, full disclosure, I have not used this curriculum. It just came out. No one has used this curriculum. There may be some people that have used it for a month, but it's brand new. So I'm just sharing my first look, my opinion, and how I would use it in my homeschool. I'm prepared too. I have notes. All right, so this is a curriculum that is based on early American history. So it's going to be the Age of Discovery through 1899. And it's designed for 4th to 8th grade or ages 9 to 13. So in my mind, that's upper elementary to middle school. So this is not a younger elementary curriculum. But what is good and what I really, really like that they did with this curriculum is they already have a high school early American history. So this pairs up with that. So if you have a child in that high school level and you have a kid that's in that middle school, upper elementary, you can teach them at the same time. And something even more exciting is they are also going to be releasing a K through 3rd early American history, which would also correlate this and the high school level. So in theory, if you had a young elementary, an upper elementary, middle school, and high school, you could teach them all together. Now, of course, the higher the age, they're going to have more in-depth resources and things, and the younger kids it's going to probably be a lot easier. So, but to be able to have all those levels, that's really cool. I know most homeschool families combine history. That's a subject that a lot of families try to teach together, and I've rarely seen you be able to go K through high school. Now, I'm not going to talk about other curriculums. There is one that I know does technically K through 12, but I think Guest Hollow might do it a bit better. So I can't wait to see when their K through 3 comes out. And I'm going to talk about that more of how I would use this curriculum in my home. So what you would purchase is you're purchasing basically this 36-week schedule. So they have this entire curriculum schedule planned out for you. So 36 weeks of lesson, you get a full week of resources that you would be doing. So everything you buy from Guest Hollow is always a digital file. They do not offer any hard printed curriculum. So keep that in mind. Don't get confused. in this curriculum, there's no like student workbook or like student student like worksheets or anything like that. So when you purchase it, you're going to receive the 36-week schedule, which I'll show you more in a minute. And you're going to get the download files for this book, which is written specifically for this curriculum. This is Beowulf's Big Book of Early American History. So this is new. This is the required reading resource that goes with this curriculum. There's many other resources that you would use with this curriculum, but this is like the main text that your student's going to be reading through. So you'll get the digital file of this. Now this is over 400 pages and it's beautiful. It's in color. There's tons of pictures. So you're going to get it in one large file and I think 5 smaller files. So when you purchase this curriculum, I just want to be very clear on what you get. You get the 36-week schedule, which also includes like all the resources and supplies you would need. So that's like a 130-page document, I'm pretty sure, PDF document. That is like your go-to, that is like your teacher's guide. That is what you need to get through this course. You get that in both a PDF and a Word document. The reason you get it in Word document is so you can edit it. And we'll talk more about the schedule in a minute. And then you get these files. Now, let's talk about this book. So obviously I have a physical printed copy. There are many options you can do with this. If you're a really cool family and you can just use it on like an iPad, or you cast it to your TV, so like you could be reading on your iPad, your kids could see it like on a TV or screen, then just leave it digital. There's no reason to waste ink or paper and print it out. And do not try to print this at home. This is a very big file, very color. I know some of you probably have those crazy Inkotakes and you're probably gonna print it anyways. I mean, go for it. Do whatever you gotta do. I definitely like things printed out, and so I decided to try out Barnes & Noble Printing Press. I'm going to make a separate video on that because that has nothing to do with Guest Hollow. It's just a source you could use. So I use Barnes & Noble Printing Press. I printed mine in 3 because I was just kind of having issues with Barnes & Noble. I believe Guest Hollow actually figured it out to how to get it to work with Guest Hollow. And you can find a lot of that information in the Facebook group, which I'll talk about more too. So I had mine printed by a third-party company. There's many options of different third-party companies. There's Watson Family Press, who I absolutely love, and they have the best pricing for homeschool printing, and they would have not made it a mess like this. Barnes & Noble was cheaper, but the processing time takes a lot, and like actually getting it to print was not for the faint of heart. So definitely look at your options in that. But again, you don't have to print it. It's just if you want to, you can. We'll do a quick like peek inside. So yeah, great colored images, big bold text, lots and lots of different things. So this is a full-on reading textbooks that Guest Hollow created. So this is new. I haven't seen anything like this from Guest Hollow and anything that I've used. So I really like that they have provided their own resource. Besides the book, the only other thing you're getting is the schedule and supply list. And that is where I do see a lot of confusion on Guest Hollow products. So let me get my examples out. So this is what a week looks like. Oh, actually. So this is like a week. So we have, this is week 4 is the example, and then 5 days of the week. So the very first resource is Beowulf's book. So that is the book I just showed you. And it tells you what sections to read. Then as we keep going, you're going to see some nonfiction books, some other activity books, geography and maps, buffet of extra resources, activities and printables, and videos. So more videos, website, and optional reference books. So there's 3 pages. I just have it printed front and back. 3 pages for 1 week. Now, you're probably like, okay, no one in their right mind is going to be able to complete that much work in 1 week for one subject. And I 100% agree, and the owners of Guest Hollow agree. They're realistic, right? But why they do this is, again, you're probably using this with different age levels and different kids, and so not every resource or book may fit. You may have already read one of the books or one of the resources, or one may not fit for you for whatever reason. Or maybe you're a really activity heavy family, so you may skip maybe some of the readings, but you may do all the activities. Or maybe you're like, I don't want to do any activities, I just want to read. You can pick and choose. And that's, they call it a buffet, right? They're like, here's what you could do, and here's all the things, and you choose, you pick and choose what you want to do. They offer videos, tons of like YouTube video links for all the things. I know my kids do very well with that. Like, once we read over a topic, I like to like put a video up of like that same stuff, just to like really get it stick. So, I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here. So that is like where it can be overwhelming. You have to be able to pick and choose. Now, if you're a rock star and your kids love history, maybe you're like really just spending a lot of focus on history, then you can do it all. You can do as much as you want. You can do as much, as little. It's really up to you to make all the choices. Now, again, I think overall, like just starting and reading through this book, you're going to get a lot of knowledge as well. And then picking and choosing those extra additional resources is going to be really cool, just depending on your family, your homeschooling style, and your day. So when you get this as a PDF, but you also get it as a Word document. And so when you get it as a Word document, you could just delete. I'm not doing that. Or you could keep it all in there, and you could like bold or change the font color of stuff you did do, stuff you didn't do. So they give you that completely editable Word document to really make this curriculum your own, which I really enjoy that, as well as I use like an online planner, so I can just copy and paste into my planner too. I can pick and choose what I want and paste it in there. So I really, really like that. So that is what the schedule would be like. Oop, those are my notes. That's what the schedule would kind of look like for you. Now, also in your schedule, you get all the resources and books. So like I said in the beginning, there are things you would need to either purchase or get somehow from a library, you know, a used bookstore to complete this unit. So they give you a breakdown of everything that you could need to complete this unit, and there's a lot. So this is like the condensed version. So these are like all the books. There are notes where it's like, you know, this is probably better for this age level. This is probably better for this age level. Choose one or the other. So this is like a very condensed checklist. There are a lot of supplies and activities. So they use like a lot of stuff from like the Scholastic website. They use stuff from Evan Moore history pocket books. There's, you know, other videos or things that they use on here. Here's like the supply list by week. So this is a lot easier for somebody like me to digest. So like week 1, it says you need your big book of history, which you have that. So like that you already have. And you're going to make Indian fry bread. The recipe is in there, and it tells you right here you need flour, baking powder, salt, water, vegetable oil. You can choose another Viking recipe, and then there's another recipe that's in this book. So up to 3 recipes in week 1, and then you can make a homemade compass, and it tells you the supplies. So I'm good 1 recipe a week. I'm not going to be making 3 recipes. It's just when it works. So I would choose one of those. Okay, so that I only need 1 thing in week 1. Week 2, there's your thing. So they are giving you like everything, and you really have to like be like, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do, you know, and adjust as you're going through your homeschool. Now, there are a lot of activities like you just saw, recipes, printables, cutouts, all that stuff, but there's also the book list. There's a lot of additional books. Books are a great way to teach. I love using literature and teaching, especially in history. I mean, it's a great way to do it. So you're going to also get the required book list. Now in this book list, it normally ranks that book or resource from like number 1 to number 4. If it's a number 1, you pretty much need this to go to curriculum. So what would be number 1? This would be a number 1. This is the main reading text for the course. So that's what, you know, you would need to use to judge it. And then they kind of go down from there, where like 2, they think you should have it, but it's okay if you don't, or maybe you should swap it with another book depending on your situation. So There are a lot of books required, but this is where I would say, you know what, I need these three books for the first 4 weeks. For this month of my homeschool, I need these three books. And then that's something that I would say, can I go get these at the library? Can I find a free audiobook? Can I find a free digital book? And that's really going to save you a lot of money. Or again, only purchase a few weeks at a time. You know, see how that goes. How often are you getting to read all the required resources on top of what you're already reading in this book? Because you already have this resource. So if you decide to use this curriculum and purchase it, I would highly recommend spending some dedicated time going through week by week, really looking at what activities it's recommending, how much reading, and you have to be realistic. There are some homeschool families, I applaud you, that your kids will sit around and listen to you read aloud for hours. My kids don't like that. They've never really enjoyed that. And so I know how much time I have reading aloud to my kids, how much time I can assign to them to read independently. And again, we're talking about upper elementary to middle school. So some of this can be done independently too. So don't feel like this is all 100% teacher. You may have to make a checklist, like you guys need to do this, this, and this, but they can work through the resources too as long as you have them. Or like how I just said on week 1, there was 3 recipes. I'm being realistic. I'm not going to do 3 recipes in a week during our homeschool week. Like that's just not possible. So I'm going to choose 1, and that's the activity we're doing for week 1. So really look at this curriculum as a guide. It found all the best resources for you. It put them out so they all match up together. If anybody's been around, you know I bought those Evan Moore history pockets, but I just kind of was like, I don't know how to use them. I liked them as a resource, but like I just didn't know how to fit them in. So that's what Guest Hollow did. They took all these great resources that you've seen, that you've used, and they planned it all out, they mapped it all out for you and made it make sense. And then you get to pick and choose how you want to use it in your homeschool. So I will link everything down below. Something also that's really important is Guest Hollow has numerous Facebook groups. They have like general ones, and then they have these subject specific ones. So they have an early American history Facebook group where there's other people using this curriculum. And so like how I was talking about getting this printed, you know, go on there and see different options, or how people plan out their weeks. It's brand new, but there are people using this. So that Facebook group's going to be the best way to get that information from people firsthand using it. Now, I have been teaching American history for the past 2 school years. So this is not something that we're going to be using this upcoming year. We have to take a break from American history. We've been spending 2 years on it. But what I will say is when they release their K through 3, I will probably use this program again in the next 2 years. So we're going to take a break from American history, at least in the next school year, maybe the next 2 school years. And then at that point in time, I will have a almost high schooler, so just about to go in high school, I believe, a middle schooler, and a 2nd grader or 3rd grader. So I will have 3 kids in pretty much all 3 areas of this early American history. And that's how we're going to use it again. We're going to come back together and plan to use this with all 3 of the levels and resources kind of working together. So I love that they did that. I love that we now have that option. I can't wait to see the K through 3. I'm really, really excited. If you want more information, like I said, I'm going to link it down below. They have samples. They have all the FAQs. You know, I'm just sharing what I think is important about the curriculum and how to best explain it, but there's way more information. You'll get a peek at like the book list, all of that. So everything's linked down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, as always, leave those down below. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye, guys.